Welcome to Module 3. It's nonverbal communication time. We spent some time in Module 1 talking about interpersonal communication and giving a broad overview of that. We spent some time in Module 2 talking about verbal communication, what you say and how you say it. It's time now for nonverbal communication. The most important part of nonverbal communication is understanding the 10 principles of effective listening. Let's go through them. The first principle is to simply stop talking. Mark Twain once said, if we were supposed to talk as much as we listen, then we would have 2 tongues and 1 ear. I add to that we have 2 eyes and 2 ears, so we're actually supposed to see and hear more than we talk. We are supposed to look at the person as they're speaking to us and see all the inconsistencies, the tones, the gestures, the body language that goes into what they're saying. So the principle that we want to start with is to simply stop talking. The second principle is to prepare yourself to listen. That means asking yourself very honestly, do you have an open mind? Are you even able and ready to receive what the person is going to say to you? Listening is an active process. You have to commit to it. So principle number 2 is preparing yourself to listen. The third principle is to simply put the speaker at ease, to nod your head, to use any appropriate gestures for your culture to help the person along. There's nothing worse than talking to someone and they're looking down the entire time and you don't know whether or not they're listening. So principle number 3 is putting the speaker at ease. The fourth principle is to not have any distractions. That means you're not doodling, you're not writing, you're not having 2 conversations at once. You are fully focused on the person who's speaking to you. That's a level of commitment that really is about that fourth principle of effective listening. The fifth principle is to empathize while you're decoding the message. Do you understand the meaning behind what the person is saying? People talk to you to share their stories. It's not just about what they say. Their personal history really does matter when they're trying to share with you. So being empathetic and understanding where the person is coming from is that 5th principle of effective listening. Principle number 6 is to be patient. The person may need some time in order to get the story out, in order to be able to share with you, to be open with you, to be honest with you. Being patient and being committed to listening all the way through, that is the 6th principle of effective listening. Principle number 7 is to not have any prejudices. That goes back to having that open mind. Really allowing the person to share with you and then being open, ready, willing, and able to hear their story and not judge them. That's an important principle in effective listening. Principle number 8, pay attention to volume and tone. Is the person yelling? Are they whispering? It matters. Their volume matters, and that goes behind what they're saying. That gets into the meaning, because effective listening is a process where you're hearing more than just the words. You're also looking to interpret the gestures, the tones, the body language, the volume. All of this matters when a person is trying to give you a message. Principle 9 is listening for the ideas. Ideas are whole. Words are in bits and pieces. You don't want to just listen to the person, pick out the words that matter to you, and try to interpret what they're saying. You want the entire idea. That's why you can't have any distractions. That's why volume and tone matter. That's why you have to be an effective listener, because it's a whole body process. And number 10, and this gets into Module 3, is watch for the nonverbal cues. It's not just what the person is saying, it's everything they're doing as well. As we go through this module, we're going to talk about why nonverbal communication, what we say without using words, why it's so important and why it's so necessary.